Hey! What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Well, my name is Jeremy, aka, well, come on! You know who it is. It's your boy, R.P.G, Red, Purple, Gold. Now, before we get into the brand new episode of my ongoing series, R.P.G, Reviews, Previews, and General News, as I always like to do, I want to take this time to make sure to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already had a chance to do so, because I'd love to be able to have you as part of the family. Make sure and just take a couple seconds to like the video, give it that thumbs up, because it definitely does help. And also, right down there, right below, make sure and use those comment sections to leave any comments that you might like, because it's definitely the best way to get that dialogue started. And of course, the ding ding dong, ring da ding 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 dong. You know how it goes. Make sure and hit that notification bell. Become part of that ever-growing bell gang, so that each time that I drop a brand new video, you'll be the first to be notified, and you can be able to take in that content whenever you would like. Well, you guys, like I said, I am so excited to be able to bring you a brand new episode of my ongoing series, R.P.G, Reviews, Previews, and General News. Now, tonight's review is going to be a little bit different than some of the other ones. Now, not that the review is different, but more so that the music that we're doing is a little bit different than some of the other albums that we've talked about up to this point. And now I want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory before we get into it, just to kind of give you an idea about why I'm also doing this review as well. Now, for me as an artist, yes, I am a, hip-hop, R&B, and rap artist in a general way. That is the type of music that I love to make. However, that's not the type of music that actually initially kind of sunk into my skin and just took me over when I was much younger, when I really first fell in love, with just music as a general way. The type of music that I actually fell in love with initially was rock and roll. And for me, that's just such an important piece of my background. And as well, now you guys probably do know this just from some of my previous videos, just in a general way, but I have played instruments for the good majority of my life. Now, I have been singing since I was very, very young, but somehow, now back then when I was singing, I was, singing all different types of things, like John Denver, Michael Jackson, all sorts of different types of music. But somehow when I was singing back then, I knew that I enjoyed it and I knew that I was good, but at the same time, it didn't really hook me then for some reason. Not until I started playing instruments did the music really just take me over and just be a huge aspect of my life. Now, the first instrument that I did learn how to play was the saxophone. But, in a general way, and this just as, you as the individual, where if you get into something that's new and you're not really digging on it, you're probably going to find that out pretty quickly. And for me, the saxophone was like that. Even though I didn't mind playing and I enjoyed it as an instrument, it just didn't connect with me. I didn't like it as much as I thought that I would. And then boom, then I moved right into playing the drums. And that absolutely just took over my body and soul. I could not get enough of playing the drums, of learning all of the different aspects to it. And especially once I got my first drum set, that's really what got me into rock and roll in a general way. Because for me, that idea when I was at that age, in my, 11, 12s and early teens, the idea of playing in a rock band was just, oh my God, I want to do this more than anything. and the more skill that I gained at playing the drums, it just took me over even more. And so for me, that is why I wanted to also make sure that I did reviews on rock albums as well, and I'm going to do that for the first time tonight. I'm going to review a brand new rock album that I'm absolutely digging on. Now, with this band that I'm going to talk about, I would classify them as hard rock. But I know that there are, you know, a ton of different subgenres when it comes to rock and roll. You've got, you know, hard rock, screamo, acid rock, you've got butt rock like in the 80s. You know, there's just all different sorts of subgenres, but I would classify this band as hard rock. But the band that we're going to talk about tonight is called Cage 9, and their album is called Hypethesia. Now I'll show you the album cover art. So here's the album cover art. I'll kind of zoom in close, pull it back for you one more time. So here's the cover art for the brand new Cage 9 album, Hypethesia. Now Cage 9 was actually formed back in 1993 in Panama City. And I also thought that that was so cool when I was doing my research, because I've actually been to Panama, and it's a beautiful place, but I just thought that was so cool where they formed there, and I've also been to that, you know, to Panama City as well. But the cool thing about Cage 9 is because they've been around for so long, they've opened up for a lot of huge bands. So they've opened up for people like Ozzy Osbourne, Bad Religion, some smaller names that maybe you might not recognize as easily, but bands like 12 Stones, Quiet Riot, and Powerman 5000. Now, I just think that's so cool, again, because they've been around so long, they've been able to open up for some huge names. I mean, there wouldn't be a lot of people that wouldn't know who Ozzy Osbourne is, even if they don't really listen to the music. Now, the album itself, Hypethesia, was released on January 22nd, 2019. And then also that name, because when I first heard it, I'm like, wow, Hypethesia, that's a cool name. Like, I don't even know if that's a real word, but that's cool, because I literally thought it was like a combination of two words, hypothermia and anesthesia. I'm like, wow, that's cool. Like, I don't know where they came up with that, but that's cool. But actually, I was not right. It's actually a real word, and it's actually a medical condition. Now, the medical term for hypethesia, because I had to let you guys know this just because I found it so interesting, is actually an unusual or pathological sensitivity of the skin or of a particular sense to stimulation. Now, they did go into some more information about it, but since I'm not really well versed on, you know, medical stuff when it comes to understanding what that means, just what that statement means, I understand some pieces of it, but everything else didn't make me understand it any better, so I thought I would just kind of give you that initial piece. But again, it's a medical condition that is an unusual or pathological sensitivity of the skin or of a particular sense to stimulation. So I just thought that was so cool, how you hear that word, hypethesia, like, wow, that doesn't seem like it's a real thing. But it is, so I thought that was cool. I had to let you guys know about it. Now, again, like I do in all my reviews, I love to tell you guys some of my personal favorite songs from the album. And some of my favorite songs off of the Hypethesia album are track 1, Earthquake, The Vertigo, Dance the Macabre, and Parallel Universe. Now, on the album, they also did a rendition of The Rooster by Alice in Chains, which I really love as well. But because it's a rendition of another song that was done by another band, I didn't know if I could put that as one of my favorites. But I definitely do really love the rendition that they did of that song. Now, of course, you guys, you know what you're here for. You want that meat and potatoes. You want the full meal deal, the final verdict. What's my score of this album, Cage 9, Hypethesia? Well, the album is amazing. From start to finish, I can start at track 1 and play all the way through. The album has 11 tracks, and I can just press play, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, bam. Start to finish, I love every single song. But in addition to that, and different from some of the other albums that I've talked about previous to this episode, the lead singer, his voice is amazing, but I actually love singing to this album as well. Now, for me as an artist, because I also do sing in my music too, I am always constantly practicing and singing to my music just to stay, relevant and up on all of the lyrics that I have. But I also am always listening to different albums and singing and just, gaining that different range from, all different types of genre of music. But this album in specifics, I absolutely love singing to this album because, like I said, the lead singer's voice is absolutely amazing. And the whole album is just so good, and I just can't help but learn the lyrics and then just sing along to every single song. And now for me in a general way, I'm probably listening to it because, like I said, it was released back on the 22nd of January. So it's been out for several months now, but I'm probably still listening to it about 2 or 3 times a week. So because of all of that, I'm going to give the brand new album by Cage 9, Hypethesia, a score of 9 out of 10 points. So again, it's an amazing album from start to finish, and I'm listening to it still after several months, at least 2 or 3 times a week. So that's why I'm giving the album Hypethesia a score of 9 out of 10 points. Well, you guys, I'm so happy that you were able to come and stop by my brand new episode of R.P.G. review, previews, and general news of the brand new album from Cage 9, Hypethesia. So until the next episode, keep it locked right here, because you know who it is. It's your boy, R.P.G. Red, Purple, Gold. Signing out.